Kingcayne.
All right, cool. So what's going on, y'all? Yo, today's message is a little bit, at least to me, very. I'm saying deep. Some other people might not agree with that, but I think it's very deep, man. Because one thing I feel like that's not being talked about enough is that you have purpose. Notice what I said. You have purpose. Notice what the title says. You have purpose. Not you have a purpose that you're meant to do one exact thing on this earth. That's definitely not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to get across, at least today, in my head, is that you have purpose. Let me explain what I mean by that. When I was growing up, I'm sure this is the case for everybody, but you start to get used to how this world works. Like you have a upbringing that you have inside your house, and then you start to go to school for the first time. Next thing my controller is kind of dying, so forgive me. But you start to leave your house for the first time. I don't know, 4 or 5, whatever. You start going to school alone, outside, away from adults, and the next thing you know, life is not the same outside the crib that it is in the crib, and most of us notice, right? And when most of us get accustomed to this, we start to doubt what's even happening in our own house, right? Like majority of the time, as you get older, you start to challenge everything that you saw when you were coming up. I mean, I ain't gonna say that's the case for everybody. Definitely was the case for me. Most people that I know kind of go through something similar, right? So if that's the case, if you know that, let me see where I gotta go. If you know that you start to challenge a couple things inside the crib, eventually what's gonna happen? You're gonna start challenging yourself, right? Like at a certain point, you start seeing different things in the world and seeing different things work for other people, or getting teased on certain things that you like, or people tell you your ideas are crazy, or your thoughts are X, Y, and Z, whatever the case may be. That starts to creep into your mind a bit, and if that's creeping in your mind, what do you think that's gonna happen as you continue to grow older and go through different experiences and getting teased in certain things and learn new ideas and et cetera, you eventually kind of start to forget who you are, right? At least that was the case for me. At a certain point, all the things I like for example, I love video games, right? But as I was growing up, getting and video games is kind of new-ish, to the handheld devices and the different level of consoles, like PlayStation just started, in my childhood. So not many people is like with that. I know so many people in the older generation. If it's your first time listening to me, you'll know I'm very spiritual. Most people in the church is like, they're not, or at least that I've heard, they're not with gaming and stuff like that, right? They think they have the stigma about it. But this is how I grew up. I grew up with it. I love it as a hobby. So if I'm getting discouraged every single day in some form or fashion, whether it be through media or people teasing me, or me not seeing it visually, other people doing the same things that I like, what do you think is gonna happen? Of course, I'm gonna start to think like, oh, I can't be successful, or I can't be me, or I can't be great unless I give this up. Okay, so that's eventually what I do at a certain point. So I go through college. I get a very, very nice career eventually. I make my way through the world, and I get more and more stressed out because it's not just games that I give up. It's plenty of other things that I love, plenty of other things that I like doing that I just gave up, right? And it's not just the hobbies that you like to do where you get discouraged from from what you're seeing or what you're hearing about. You also get discouraged, when it comes to your personality too. I was always the type to keep it real with people. Like since a young age. Like my mom tell me stories and I'm just like, man, I really said that. Like we have this family friend and she's been in my life since forever, but I think I was like a child when I saw her one day and I asked her, I didn't know what weave was, and I asked her, I was like, yo, is that your real hair? I'm a kid. I think I was like 6 or something. 6 or 5. I don't know. My mom had to tell me. But that's just who I was, just forever. Right? So that never changed. So like I said, you go outside the crib. Oh dang. You go outside the crib and you go to school for the first time. Do you think adults trying to hear that? Not really. Like they're not trying to have some kid, who's just been born, quote unquote, keep it real with them about things they have no concept about or no knowledge about. Right? And I'm sure we're all guilty of that. Like it doesn't have to just be a kid. Anyone that comes in our life and tries to tell us about who we are, about, or about things that they know nothing about, people not trying to hear that. And that's just who I was since forever, right? So what do you think what happens when you get discouraged by adults or discouraged by other kids or whatever as you growing up in the world? You start to say, okay, now I'm not going to say anything. That's you giving up, or that was me giving up pieces of myself. That was me just slowly over time, not just hobbies, but also, my personality traits that made me. Right? Now, why am I saying this? Is because, like I said, you have purpose. How do you think you can find your purpose giving up who you are? Right? It's like, how is that possible? Some people get famous and get successful and rich being something that they not. Right? And then they promote that. Like they'll tell other people like, nah, just do this. Just do this thing that you're not really trying to do. Trust me, it works. Right? If some people it do work. And some people end up loving that mentality and that lifestyle and they want it, And if it works for them, that's great, but that doesn't work for everybody. Right? Definitely doesn't work for me. I tell you something. Like I said, I went through college and I ended up having a real nice career, or I have a real nice career. And, it was some things about my career that as I was moving up, I started noticing things that I was just like, man, this whole lifestyle isn't for me. What people in the industry would tell you is, oh, just, look at how much money you making. It's fine, right? Just this is the way that life is. This is the way that it works. And then when you listen to that advice and you listen to what other people are saying about how life works, which is nuts, you start to believe that. Their voice starts to become your voice. And you start to live the life you wasn't meant to live, right? Because their purpose is not your purpose. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's like everybody should have this figured out and they should know exactly what they want to do and exactly what their purpose is. Far from the case. I heard some people say something like, they're spirit driven. Excuse me. They're purpose driven, which is, that's all fine and, that's great. That's great. But for some people that don't even, let's say this is the first time you even hearing this concept. Like, what? I have a purpose? What could that possibly be? How could you be spirit driven in that case? That's not purpose driven. That's not the case. I think of it though, like everyone has to be purpose led. And what that means is, even though you don't know what that purpose is, every experience that you go through, every lesson that you learn, every time you falter, all of that is for a reason. I truly believe that. Every single thing that you do, excuse me, every single thing that you do, every single thing that you learn, every single tear you shed, excuse me, all that's for a reason. All that is for you to figure out you, like all of it. And if you don't believe that, then at that point, everything you're going for is for, what's the point? You're not learning anything, right? Like I don't. Me personally, I don't believe that. I think that you gotta figure out what it is, what gift that you have that other people don't have, and use that to your advantage. And with the lessons that you learn, you gotta apply it. And that's real talk. Like I said, I love games. I love keeping it real. I love talking about stuff that I see that no one else is talking about. And because I was listening to other people or doubting myself or whatever the case may be, I wasn't doing this. I wasn't getting on, I wasn't getting on the internet streaming and talking, just spitting game. I had to figure this stuff out, right? When I first turned on a stream, turn on the mic, I wasn't talking about this stuff. I didn't know what I wanted to do, right? But that's what I mean by you don't have to be purpose driven yet, right? You can be purpose led. Like I didn't know, so I found myself turn on the camera, turn on the mic. Next thing I know, I'm on the internet. And it's funny because when I first started doing it, I had this guy say, first comment, because I think just my lady, either my wife was following me or whoever, a friend, whatever the case may be, on Twitch. And it was just one person. And what do you think the first thing he said? Like, what do you think first thing people say when you on the internet that has a subscriber count or a follower count? They're gonna look directly at that and they're gonna use that number. Dang, I'm tripping. They're gonna use that number to validate you, right? And if you listen to that, then bro, I got bad news for you. You got to start somewhere, right? So I get on. First thing he says is, "You have one follower," right? All right. If I was doing it for that, if I was doing it for other people, then I never figure out who it is I want to be. And that's how most people think. That's how most people are, and they gear towards how other people think and how other people see them, and they completely lose sight at the gift and talents that they have. And that's real talk. I mean, you can look at any famous person that's not, honestly, you can learn from anybody, right? So you can look at any famous person and you just watch their life and you can live vicariously through them. One thing you'll notice in their circles or their comment sections or their fans or their one thing you notice what people say about them, the ones that really, really succeed are the ones that eventually get to a point where they're like, yo, I'm just doing this for me, and I really don't even care what anyone says. The ones that crash and burn, the one hit wonders, the ones that end up doing craziness, bro, they listening to what everybody has to say about them. And that's like, bro, like, why? You have a platform and talents that other people don't have, and people looking at you for that. They're not looking at these people commenting, like they don't care, right? The ones that's looking at the comments are the other people that care about what care about what everyone has to say about them, right? The ones that's looking at you for you, those are the people you should be paying attention to, because they don't care what other people have to say. They're a fan of you just because of what you bring to the table. And that's how life is. That's everybody. You never know. Some person around you, even if you don't see them, even if you don't know, it's some person watching you that is inspired by you. It is. That's just a case. That's just a fact. Like, bro, if I told you how I grew up, like I would have never thought at all that I would be married by this age, at a house at this age, at a career at this age, had the friends and support system that I got at this age, or in who knows when, right? I would have never, I would have never imagined these certain things in my life that I have today. I never would have imagined it, but you keep going and you keep pushing, and you stay more true to yourself, bro. You never know what may turn out. And the network that I have and friends that I have, bro, I had no idea that so many people thought positively about me. That's cause hey, what does that say though? That's probably because I wasn't thinking positively about myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was, then I probably would have noticed. I would have noticed that, I was helping one or two people out, or helping somebody be a better version of themselves. I'm just, that's just who I am naturally, to try to be positive with people. But, imagine if all of the times where I was trying to give advice and it turned out negatively. Imagine if I just was like, you know what, bump it. They don't want my advice. They don't think it's cool. Then forget it. Nobody's gonna get my advice, bro. What type of that? A mentor once told me, because I was telling them about this situation where this lady came up to me and she was just explaining how I hate women, because I gave her advice about updating her resume, because she was about to go on maternity leave. Now, I'm a manager, or I was a manager at a Fortune 500 company. I manage teams all over the world, man. Literally all over the world. Atlanta, Costa Rica, Bulgaria, India. Like, I've touched many, many lands, and I had many, many people report to me. I gave that advice to every single one of those people. Every single one. And I don't really, on the gyms and gaming, I don't really want to go too deep into why. Maybe I'll do a video on it. Somebody keep me posted. If they're really curious as to why I say that, then maybe. But for all the people that were on my team and I gave that advice, man, they loved it and they did it. And then when they came back, they felt like they had the focus that they needed to continue their career, or even find something else that they wanted to do, because they had a better understanding of what it is that they brought to the table. So I'm thinking, I'm giving good advice and I'm saying it, I'm going on about my day, all happy and proud. Next thing I know, her manager hitting me up like, you shouldn't have said that because she was pregnant. You know how that is in this culture, men hating women and all that. I'm like, bro, what? First off, I mean, I ain't saying that's not the case. I ain't saying, women ain't getting targeted, but yo, that's not me, all right? And imagine if I let that person's insecurity reflect back on me, and then now, moving forward, let's say I had a negative stigma about helping women, or let's say I never wanted to help anyone else ever again. How is that helping me, and how is that helping other people in the future because someone got discouraged about my words? Hey, and also, you know what? You never know. Years later or months later or whenever in the future, that person might go, you know what? Yo, that person was spitting facts. At least for internet, Kingcayne was spitting facts. Like, he was telling the truth. You never know. Or they might end up saying I was wrong, or I might learn a different perspective in the future. But the point being is, I can't get discouraged from continuing to go, because I'll never know what that different perspective is. Or I'll never get that advice to someone else in the future, and then it clicked with them, and then it changed their life in some form or fashion. Right? So, bro, they got me traveling all over the world, bro. What's going on? So, if I had gotten discouraged, actually, what I was gonna say is a mentor. I was telling him this advice, and he told me, he was like, man, I hate when that happens. Like, I got burned too, but my wife told me one very important thing, and that was exactly what I'm saying right now, is that you would be doing a disservice to the person that really, really wants to or needs to hear this advice because some other person got butthurt about it, right? And that's that's the whole issue with cancel culture today. It's like, some people gonna feel a certain type of way. Not everyone's gonna agree with you. Like that is what it is. But the ones that say because I don't agree with you, you need to, no one should ever hear you ever again, right? Like, well, you don't know who else you hurting because of that, right? You are serving yourself, kinda, and I don't even know if that's the case. I feel more like you just discouraging other people from being themselves. And I know it's some examples, I ain't saying if Hitler was on a day and he had Twitter and he was just like, yo, bro, these Jews, you know what I'm saying? I ain't saying, some people, some people's voices is more discouraging and not helpful than others. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you never know when you are the person giving the advice and you believe you truly are making a difference and helping somebody. You never know who really, really needs to hear that advice. And if you let other people's point of their life and perspective drive yours, you ain't gonna never find it. That goes to the whole point of, you having purpose. And like I said, I ain't saying you have a purpose. You're meant to do a thing. I'm saying that every single thing that you go through is for a reason. And you need to start asking, instead of, oh my God, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? Real talk, cancel culture is more about, discouraging people for how they say things. Right? So let's say you spitting game and you think you spitting facts on something very, 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 sorry, I'm trying to climb. All right. Very, very encouraging or deep or whatever case may be. Let's say you are, bro, this man was on go. Now you're getting attacked on the internet. People don't like the way you're saying something or what you're saying. Then ask yourself, ask yourself, instead of, why are they attacking me? What was the reason, or how did I say it, or is there a different way for me to present my message, right? I mean, that's life in general. If I'm being honest with you, like, yo, this man has the hands. That's life in general. I work in corporate, so, politics is a major thing in corporate. So how you say something matters for sure. You can say whatever you want, honestly, in a certain setting, if you say it correctly, but you screw up and you get in your feelings on a certain topic or issue, bro, that junk will come back to bite you for real. I had to learn that, right? Whenever I hear a no, or whenever I, go through a situation that doesn't turn out the way that I foresee it turning out in my head, then I go, okay, I ain't getting butthurt about it or going on a rampage or playing a victim and, attacking that person. I just go out, I just try to get better instead of bitter. Right? And it's a journey. And the reason I tried to have that mindset is because, like I said, I feel like, everything happens for a reason. So I need to learn, the lesson here instead of learn like the retaliation. Instead of learn like, okay, people are going to discourage me, so I'm never going to try. Man, bump that. Yo, y'all know how long I've been reading it's not this man about the, I've been reading he coming. Oh, that's crazy. I've been reading the Bible for a while these past few months. How many of those people was just trying to spread good news and they was getting attacked for it endlessly. And I'm just trying to figure out whether they was just like, you know what, man, listen, God, I was trying to teach them about you, bruh, but they ain't trying to hear it. They ain't with it. Imagine, I'm just trying to seriously imagine if they was just like, you know what, bump it. How many of those books would have never got written, or how many of those people that actually needed to hear that stuff would have never wrote their own version of the Bible, wrote, you know, the books that's in the Bible. They never wrote their own book, right? Like people look at that. People look at the scriptures like it was just this, you know, just magical thing that happened. Nah, all those people lived a certain life, learned their certain experiences, found their purpose, and then ended up trying to help other people by spreading their knowledge. That's no different than how life is today. People are always going to try to discourage you, and there are going to be people in this world who fighting through that discouragement, trying to help other people from the lessons that they learn, right? And forget if anybody say that no, that's not the way, or this way is better. It's always going to be people like that. Always. Yo, this man sent big bro after me. That's crazy. It's always going to be people like that, though. And that's facts. And, you know, if you're not willing to say, you know what, that doesn't define me, you know, what happened to me does not define me, then you never know who you are, man. That's real talk. And that's just you discovering a little, you know, a couple things. Like, that's not even, I'm just giving examples of how to fight through discouragement. Imagine the countless other things about you that regular people don't know about, or you don't know about, right? You probably are filled with so much more than what you're even letting on for yourself, and you would never know that until you even try to figure it out about the little things that you're trying to push away, or the little things that you don't know about. You know, that's how I see it. And look, the reason I try to say certain things a certain way and you know, phrase it a certain way is because I'm not trying to be so direct and say that there's only one way to look at life, or there's only one way to perceive it. That's not the case. I try to phrase it in a way where it's, you know, for anybody that's going through something to realize that you have a purpose, and regardless of what any person says about your scenario, even if it sounds right and it sounds like it makes sense to you at the time, bro, that is how it is in that moment. But you never know how something may be tomorrow. Yeah, I heard a super good quote, and I'll try to keep it less Kung Fu Panda-y and say just like a more generic way of thinking about it. But if you are, what did it say? If you are angry about something, then you're living in the past. If you are fearful about something, then you're living in the future. But if you are enjoying life and enjoying yourself, or you know, calm and peaceful, then you're living in the day. And that's really the only way to live. How I would say it spiritually, tomorrow belongs to God. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Yesterday, the devil tried to snapshot a picture of you and show you how you were yesterday and be like, look, ain't this you? Ain't this you right here? Like, why are you trying to be something else? This is you from the past. You don't remember that? And they'll do that just to try to keep you at a certain way in life. And the Kung Fu Panda style is, you know, the turtle. I don't know if y'all ever, you know, I don't know how many people seen it, but the turtle, that was the wise man in the movie, and he said, you know, tomorrow, what did he say? I think yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why it's called the present. And that's facts. That's facts. No matter how many different ways to say that, that's the truth. That's the idea about you having purpose. And trust me, if you don't believe it, No one's going to wake up and believe in you for you. You have to believe in you first and foremost. First and foremost, and that's real. And back to the part where I was saying that you are spirit led more than you're spirit driven, is because we don't know who we are, or because we don't know. I did not know I can dodge roll. That's hilarious. But because we don't, we're not at that stage as, every single day when we just motivated to do something, motivated to figure these things out. All I would say is invest in yourself a little bit here and there, just a little bit. It ain't gotta be a lot. You don't have to, you don't have to have everything figured out immediately. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying every single day, just invest in yourself slightly and just see where that leads you. Just see, right. Just see. That's all I'll say is just see. And let's say 1 month, 2 months, 3 months from now, just look at the difference between where you were when you started investing in yourself to where you are afterwards. And you might find yourself in a place that you had no idea that you would ever be. Right? I'm just, that's how it was for me in certain areas. That's how it was for me. Excuse me. Excuse me. That's how it was for me in certain areas, me in life, me in my career, me in this gaming thing, me in anything really. I never know what might turn out. So I always just try to, okay, I gotta go upstairs. I always try to, not close the door on my journey too quickly. Don't get me wrong, I ain't saying it like I'm always motivated. I definitely get discouraged. I definitely have doubt. My wife and my mom and, my family and friends, they always gotta hype me up because I'm the type to be like, oh man, why did I do this decision, or why didn't I do X, Y, and Z? I'll do that constantly, man. But it's always good to have that support system to let you know it's like, nah, like relax a little bit. You got it. And even if you don't have it or you don't feel like you have it, becoming that person is great, and honestly sometimes better than relying on other people to be that person for you. All right, because if you're that person that's encouraging other people and telling others, that they can be something, and they might have never heard that lesson. Like I said, you never know who's watching. You never know what that would turn into. Not just for them, but for you as well. Right? At least that's how I see it. So, crazy part about this game is like if you don't come prepared, bro, you might really end up screwed. But yeah, that's how I see it, and that's a few tidbits of wisdom of how I would call it out. Never forget that you have purpose. I'm actually starving a little bit, so I'm probably about to end it. I'm actually not sure what's about to happen. That's the cool thing about doing this. I was trying to, I always try to get on and play something that's not too intensive for me, something I can just get on and kind of, just get on and kind of just spit game a little bit without getting too distracted. But, you'll see this on Twitch or YouTube, and never forget you have a purpose, ever, because you do, regardless of what anybody tell you, you do.